Okay, hello everybody. My name is Alexandra and I will introduce you to our presentation. I will tell you some information about our university, as well as I'll talk you about general information about recycling, and then my colleagues Lenka and Petra will tell you the rest of our project. Okay, so welcome to our presentation about the virtual environmental challenge. We named our project Wasteless Future, and we would like to tell you more about it. Before beginning, let me introduce you the steps of our presentation. First, we will show you a short video where we are interviewing students that are living in our dorm house. Then we will be presenting our university and members of our team. After that, we will tell you general information about recycling, and we will finish with the process of the project, where we'll tell you about what we did, with who did we talk to, as well as we'll tell you about the problems we are facing. Let's begin with the interviews.
And what's your name?
Julie.
My name is Adela.
Hi, my name is Dalibor.
Do you recycle?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
At home I do recycle, yes.
And do you recycle at the dormitory here?
No, I don't.
And could you tell me why?
Well, here I think it's not that easy to recycle, and I'm not too determined in that matter. So here everything just goes to the bin at the bathroom or outside. So.
Okay, and let's say if there were multiple bins for multiple materials, let's say in the kitchen, would you recycle them?
I would, yeah, of course.
What kind of materials do you recycle?
Glass, paper and plastic.
Paper, plastic and glass.
And do you throw out the trash yourself, or do you have an agreement with the cleaning ladies?
By myself.
I throw it myself.
Okay, and do you throw out any food?
No.
Here at the dorms?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, and if I told you that a sort of a food pantry would be at this dormitory where you could put that food and someone else could take it, would you use that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Oh, and would you also take food from there?
Maybe, sometimes.
What kind of bags do you use when you go shopping? Reusable ones or plastic ones?
Reusable.
Reusable bags.
I often use reusable ones, but when I forget, I take the plastic ones, but usually reusable ones.
Okay, and when you buy a plastic bag, what do you do with it then? Do you throw it out or keep it?
To be honest, I throw it away.
And do you throw it in the plastic bin?
Yes.
Okay.
I try to at least.
And what's your name?
Julie.
My name is Adela.
Hi, my name is Dalibor.
So let me tell you something about us. Welcome to our university. We study at Matej Bell University in Banská Bystrica in Slovakia at the Faculty of Arts, where the project is also being realized. Our project was realized by the group of 5 people, 3 students, with a big help of our professor, Ms. Chovancová, and our coordinator, Natalia, and also Tekla. We chose to do our project because we wanted our other people to participate, and because we really want to have a wasteless future, and we thought that we could start with our university and our dorms, which is a small but a very important step for the future. So what is recycling? Recycling is the process of converting waste materials into new materials and objects. The recyclability of a material depends on its ability to require the properties it had on its original state. Concerning the separation in Slovakia, Yeah, thank you. Concerning the separation in Slovakia in 2020, 43 million tons of communal waste was produced and only 43.7% was separated. And as we study in Banská Bystrica for the year 2022, the city of Banská Bystrica separated 53.4% of communal waste. You can switch the slide. Yeah, thank you. So statistics of recycling made by Environmental Protection Agency in the US. We can see that for paper, that paper makes up to 23% of municipal solid waste generated each year, which is a lot. Also, I am not going to read every number and every statistic, but we can see that glass, food and beverage containers can be recycled over and over again. And from 12.3 million tons of glass were generated, only 31.3% was recycled. And regarding food, 63.1 million tons of food waste was generated and only 4.1% of food waste was composted. We can switch, yes. Statistic of recycling in France. We can see that, for example, around maybe 3 million tons of plastic were generated. 26% was recycled, but from the resting 74%, 43% were used in energetic industry. And regarding, for example, glass, 88% was recycled. So we can see that the recycling process depends the country, but in some areas of recycling, the percentage is pretty low. So can switch, thank you. So how to separate? In Slovakia, for paper, we have blue container where belongs, for example, a newspaper or paper cups. For plastic is a yellow container where belongs, for example, yogurt containers or plastic bags. And also in Slovakia, we have returnable plastic bottles. This system started in 1st January 2022. So we shouldn't really have much plastic in the bins nowadays, other than yogurt containers and plastic bags. For glass, we have green container where belongs jars or wine bottles. For aluminium is a red one, and there belongs, for example, cans. And lastly, for degradable waste, we have a brown container where we can throw, for example, peels from vegetables or fruits, grass, or also flowers.
Lenka, microphone.
Okay, thank you for telling me. I didn't notice my mic was off. I think I've stopped sharing. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, okay, great.
Oh, no, we don't see it anymore. Now, all right.
Now you see it, yes? Okay. Okay, so I'll be talking about the research we did, which was basically about if people do recyclate at the dormitory, and if so, then what materials, and if not, then why. I did this by walking door to door and knocking and asking people if they recycle, and if yes, if I could see their trash cans. Only a handful of people actually allowed me to go to their bathrooms. And the way the trash works at our dorm is that each dorm room, which consists of 5 students, has one trash bin for like mixed trash, and then this one plastic bin which doesn't really have any use, but I've noticed that people who did want to recycle, they used it for plastic trash.
Una serie faite en métal brique, quand il s'est réveillé, il a posé la question à quelqu'un que dans ce livre,
I'm sorry.
It's fine, you can continue, don't worry.
Okay, I wasn't sure if somebody was asking something. Okay, well, these are 3 random trash bins from 3 random rooms, and you can see on the left side that somebody does separate trash. And those are all plastic materials. Then in the center, there was also someone who did recycle trash. And then on the right side, which is a more interesting picture, there is someone who doesn't recycle. You can see a plastic shampoo bottle on the upper side. You can see toilet paper roll, which is made from paper. And again, these are very easily recyclable materials. It's not hard to tell them apart. And so the question arises, why don't these people recycle? And the reason is that if you do want to recycle at the dorm, the cleaning ladies will not take the trash themselves. They are only made to take out the basic trash. You know, they don't have to actually put it in the separate bins. And so if a student wants to recycle, he has to take the trash themselves out to the area where all the trash cans are. And some of these people just, I don't think I can call it like they saw it unnecessary, but for some reason they didn't feel the need to. When I asked them why don't they take it out themselves, you know, it's quite sad. So, and these are the trash cans from the kitchen. Each floor, there are 10 floors on each block, and we have 2 blocks at the dorm we are talking about. They have this one trash can. And again, you can see trash that is easily recyclable. On the left picture, there is a sort of a paper packaging, there is a cigarette pack, and there are potato skins which could be put in the bio trash, but people still decide to not separate it. And we could say that their motivation, or rather their lack of motivation, is caused by inconvenience, like you could see in the interviews. And it's very sad. But still, there are some people who decide to go out of their way. And on the right picture, you can actually see me and a lot more people. I saw a lot more people who take out the trash themselves, but they didn't wish to be photographed. So I had to photograph myself. And also the trash cans aren't really that far from the dormitory. Like, they're not right in front of the building. They're maybe like 25 meters away, so it's not a horrible walk. And we put them in plastic bags, which we take out ourselves when we go to some class. And now to separating at the school, in the actual school buildings. On the right side, on the picture which is more down, those 4 trash cans, they are in these like main halls. Each floor has them, where you can separate glass, paper, and plastics. This is my classmate who was at the moment throwing out trash. And then on the right side, at the upper picture, those are trash cans which are in the hallways where we have classrooms. They're quite long hallways. And there are only trash cans for paper and plastic. And this is really interesting because if you create some trash which is not paper or plastic, like for example, I don't know, a banana peel, yes, you can't throw it out immediately in the hallway, or at least you shouldn't. You have to walk all the way to the main hallway, and you would think that this would create motivation for people to actually lead them to separation. But as you can see on the picture on the left side, this is not the case, because this is a picture I took accidentally. I went to throw out paper trash, and when I lifted the lid, I could see that someone threw out a plastic cup, and you can only call that ignorance, because it's plastic. Everyone knows it's a plastic cup, and that's a trash can which is obviously meant for paper. So why did someone decide to throw out plastic cup in there? It's very, very displeasing to see this when you care about the environment. But still, there are some, let's call it, tries for motivation. This is the staircase in one of our university buildings, and these are these little stickers which motivate you to separate, or better, to care about the environment, because the gray one on the right side says to save water. So even though all the students see these things, see these trash cans and these stickers, why don't they do it? It might be more of a, let's call it, ignorant personal problem than the lack of convenience.
Region. Good evening. My name is Petra, and I would like to talk to you about the finalization, we could say, of the project. Okay, so I would like to talk firstly about the recycling in a dorm house. So we saw some pictures, and I would like to talk to you about the way that we could solve it. So I was there in the dormitory house, in the first dormitory house, and I went to see the lady that is responsible for all of these things. And she told me this whole complicated scheme of the realization of projects like this. So the first thing that we talked about was problems with bureaucracy. So as you might know, we are in European Union too, and when you want to buy something, or when you want to just do something in your school or in your town, you have to go through this process of bureaucracy. So a lot of papers, and you have to have a lot of permissions, and a lot of I would say rules that you have to go through and see if you can make it. So the next thing was many layers of accepting new investments. So she told me that it's not only about her, about the head of the dormitory house, it's about all of these people. Like she mentioned someone who is called Quester. So the Quester would have to accept our project, and then it would also have to go through the director of the dormitory house. So a lot of people, a lot of papers. Then a lack of resources. So of course, with like many other things, she told me that this would be the last thing that they would like to solve in the dormitory house. So firstly, they would like to repair maybe the building or the rooms, and then they would think about something like recycling. So that was what she told me. Then there was this problem that there are external companies involved in it, in the whole recycling thing, and some contracts with the city. So the city of Banska Bystrica has some responsibility over recycling. Then there are people who they pay for, like taking out their trash from the university and from the dormitory houses. So that's really complicated. She even told me that I would have to call them in order to find out what we can do about it. And that probably we cannot do anything about it because we cannot even measure how much of a waste there is. Because if you wanted to measure how much waste the dormitory houses make, we would have to somehow like put it on weights or so, but they take out even like half empty trash cans or trash bins from the dormitory houses. So it's really complicated to know what's really happening. And the last thing was placement. And that was when we talked about the recycling bins in the dormitory houses themselves, not the university, but the dormitory houses, where we would like to place, our project would like to place them in the hallways, in the dormitory houses, the bins. But she told me that it's not possible because of the fire that could be there. So they have these rules for like fire security or so, and they don't want to allow it. So that's another problem with the placement. Okay, I think we can go to the next one. Okay, so this idea came up kind of like surprisingly when I thought about how I saw it in Bratislava in the university, that there was this Facebook group of students that lived in a dormitory house in Bratislava. And I saw that sometimes students posted like they had some party or they had some, I don't know, some event in the dormitory houses, and they have left like chocolates or desserts or whatever you can imagine. And they just put it in the kitchen, and someone who maybe doesn't have the money or doesn't have the time to cook or just wants to take something like chocolate from the kitchen, they could take it. So I was thinking about something like public dorm shelf or fridge, where when, for example, you're leaving for the weekend, you can just put your food there so it doesn't get bad. And then someone who needs it or wants it can take it from there. Okay. So that was about the description and the problem that I was facing with this dorm shelf or fridge. I was also talking about that to the lady, to the main head of the dormitory house, and she told me that we could do it, that it could be possible. There's the same problem with the cleaning ladies, that they will not be responsible for it. So nobody will manage it, nobody will really clean it, so it will be up to us what we do about it. And then the second problem would be, which was really surprising to me because I never really thought about it, was about energy bills. Because
I'm sorry.
yes, so that would be a problem, the energy bills, because we would have to pick a fridge. If it was a fridge, we would have to pick one that doesn't consume a lot of energy, and we would have to place it somewhere, maybe in the hallway. But that would be kind of, I would say, not very practical, and I think it would be better in the kitchen. But she told me it is not possible to do things like this in the kitchens, in the public kitchens, because they have, again, some rules for how it must look like, how it should look like, the kitchen, how many, like for example, there's a kettle and there's a cooker and things like that, like how much energy that should consume, and so on and so on. So that was the problem with the dorm shelf or dorm fridge. Okay, and possible solution for the recycling, I think should be a cleaner process of administration or of bureaucracy, but that goes far beyond us, I think. And then maybe a will to do something about it, because we have seen that it was really not nice to see it in the pictures that Lenka described. So yeah, that would be from me. Thank you.